Hey there, so I've been getting this rear cross traffic alert off and the little message that says rear cross traffic alert malfunction, visit your dealer. And I actually think this is a little bit of a design flaw that Toyota have, so I'm going to show you a little detective work that I've done and maybe how you can fix this at home for a couple of $100, because I hear that it can cost a couple of $1,000s to get it done at Toyota. And yeah, I really think it's a design flaw on Toyota's part as to why this is happening. So let's do a little digging together, and I think I'll be able to explain why this happens. For clarity, this is a 2022 Toyota Sienna. My manufacture date is actually late 2021. The first step's going to be removing this bumper so we can see what's going on, because the sensors sit behind the rear bumper on each side. You'll see once the bumper's off. There's actually a great video showing this already, but essentially these two bolts here and there's some clips underneath and in the wheel well. You do those, you pull the bumper off, and we'll reconvene once I've done that and I'll be able to explain what's going on. Before I take the bumper off, I do want you to notice something. All along the back, the vehicle's pretty well sealed, except for right here by the exhaust, where you've got all these exhaust gases. If you look up here, that connector that you can see right up there, that's actually one of the radar sensors for the cross traffic alert. And you can see that it has zero protection from salt and spray that comes up from the road, and it just perishes the harness. So I really think there should be a piece of trim or something that goes under here to protect that. Yeah, let's get this bumper off and you'll see from a different angle. So now that the bumper's removed, what you can see is there's no protection from the salt and spray getting up and hitting this harness. And my rear tail light has stopped working as well, and I was fiddling with these wires and this one's just completely corroded through. So I think what happens is the salt spray gets up, and especially when it's cold, it works its way into these wires, and it actually just starts to corrode the inside the wire. The water salt just chases that wire down and rots it away. So you end up with all kinds of electrical issues. And the interesting thing is this harness here. I'll take you through a little screen grab from the Toyota website. Toyota talks about it as kind of a consumable part, something that needs to be replaced often enough. So anyway, that's what we're going to try and replace today and see if it makes the problem here go away. But yeah, these are the two radar sensors, and this one on this side is a lot cleaner than the other side. So wish me luck. I'll report back and we'll see what happens. Here is a screenshot of the Toyota website where it says that floor wire 6 may deteriorate and periodic replacement is vital, and I just think that's unacceptable for a wiring harness. So I've laid out the replacement harness here that I picked up. This would be part number 82169-08070. I've got the 2022 Sienna LE, but my local parts department did help me with getting those last 5 digits are important, because floor wire number 6, that's what 82169 is, but your vehicle specific model is going to dictate those last 5 digits, so I would double check those. As I'm pulling the connector apart, here you can see all of the dirt that gets in with these vertically oriented connectors. And on the other side, which is the exposed side, especially when it's cold and these little rubber grommets shrink, stuff gets in there. Doesn't bode well for the harness. So yeah, this wire runs up into the cabin here, and it gets unplugged just below the wheel well in there. But if you are looking for the part number, it's right there on your harness, so you should be able to find the right part number for you. Here's my little helper. Hey buddy, Nando, you helping daddy? I am putting a little bit of dielectric grease, not on the electrical connectors, because This stuff does insulate, and I don't want it to get between the pins and the sockets, but just on the outside of these Deutsch connectors, and I'll do the same thing for the radar sensors. There is a little rubber gasket. If you look inside one of these connectors, there's a little orange gasket you can see down there, and I think if there's a little bit of grease just as lubrication to help that gasket make a better seal, it should A, work as an assembly lubricant, so if you ever have to take it apart again, it's a little easier to do, and hopefully help that gasket slide up in there and seal a little better. Anyway, certainly something that may not be recommended from the factory, but I think will help. This connector is also a little bit open at the bottom, which I'm not the biggest fan of, if this will focus. So if I take you over here, you can see that I've put some electrical tape. I've used the highest quality 3M tape I could find, and I have wrapped from the bottom up so that each layer is on top of the previous one, kind of like flashing on a house roof, just to do the best I can to direct as much water from there away from there as possible when it splashes up. Anyway, maybe it won't do anything, and maybe it'll trap more water in, but I'm gonna give it a crack. You helping Daddy out, are ya? Hey? Yeah? We're gonna do some cleaning of the engine next. Okay, well, let's see if this works. Alright, wiring harness installed. Rear cross traffic alert malfunction gone. So I guess I've saved myself a trip to the dealership, and however that must be, that harness is $217 around about, including tax. In Kansas anyway. I'm sure the sales tax is different in different states.